Hello everyone, today we're going to be talking about slope and point slope form. So first, just to review a slope. Slope is just the change in y over change in x. In other words, you might see this as change in, y over change in x. How much does y move? So how much does if you're looking at a graph, does the point go up or down to get to the next point? And then change in x, so how much does it go to the left or to the right? Because remember, the y-axis is that vertical one and the x-axis is that horizontal one. And so we actually have a formula to find the slope, and to do that, you're going to label the 2 points x1, y1 and x2, y2, and your slope will be m, which just stands for slope, is equal to y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So basically you're going to subtract the y's over subtract the x's. And so we actually have two different methods of finding slope that you can use. One, you can use the slope formula. This will be just a very true way of every time. You can use this, or I'm also going to show you the stacking method. So first, let's just do some examples of using the slope formula. And so again, that is this y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So if I were using the slope formula to find the slope that passes through -3, 5, and 2, 1, my first step is I'm going to go ahead and label my points x1, y1, and then x2, y2. So kind of similar to when we're doing distance formula. And so next I want to go ahead and plug that into this formula here. So my y2 I see as 1 minus y1, which is 5, over x2, which I have as 2, minus x1, which is -3. So 1 minus 5, I get -4, over 2 minus -3 means I'm just really adding a positive 3. So 2 plus 3, and I get 5. And so that is my slope. Okay, let's do another example. Let's say I'm going to find the slope between 5, 2 and -5, 6. So my first step is I'm going to go ahead and label them x1, y1, x2, y2. And so I have my formula. And now I'm going to go ahead and plug in my points. So y2 I have as 6 minus y1, which is 2. So I'm just subtracting the y's. And then I'm going to subtract my x's. So I have x2, which is -5, minus x1, which is 5. And now I'm going to go ahead and simplify this. So 6 minus 2, I get 4. -5 minus 5, I get -10. And then now I'm going to go ahead and actually simplify that fraction. So I can divide 2 from top and bottom, and I get that this becomes 2 over -5. Okay, go ahead and pause the video. I want you to try to use the slope formula to find the slope between -3, 4 and 5, -7. When you think you have it, go ahead and press play. So the answer you should have gotten here was a -11 over 8. The very tricky thing here when you're subtracting a negative is remembering that means that you're actually adding 3. So instead of doing 5 minus 3, it's really 5 minus -3, which becomes 5 plus 3. So that is the method using slope formula. Another method that you can use is something called the stacking method. And so with the stacking method, what I'm going to do is I'm going to first actually stack these points. So I have -3, 5 over 2, 1. And now I'm going to look at finding what my change in y is. So I'm going to see, how do I get from 5 to 1? Well, to get from 5 to 1, I need to do 5 minus 4, and that gets me 1. And then I need to look at my change in x. So I need to think, how do I get from -3 to 2? What do I need to add to get from -3 to 2? Well, -3 plus 5 gets me 2. And so my slope, I know, is just my change in y over my change in x. Well, my change in y is -4. My change in x is 5. And so my answer is -4/5. And I see that matches with my slope formula method. So let's do another example. So let's say doing number 3, so I have 2, 7, and 4, 2. So I'm going to look at my change in y first, because I know my slope is just equal to my change in y over my change in x. So I get, see, for my change in y's, because these are all my y coordinates, and these are my x coordinates, to get from 7 to 2, I see that I have to subtract 5, because 7 minus 5, I get 2. So that means the top of my slope was going to be -5. And then for my change in x, I see to get from 2 to 4, I need to add 2, because 2 plus 2 gets me 4. So that means that my slope is going to be -5/2. Okay, go ahead and pause the video. I want you to try this last one. When you think you have it, go ahead and press play. So the answer you should have gotten for this last one was -2/9.